The dumbbell pullover is an old school lift that will transform your body. This exercise has been called the squat of the upper body. It's such an underrated muscle builder for an aesthetic physique. Expect to increase your shoulder mobility, build an injury-resilient body, and develop well-rounded strength. Of course, we're all built differently. Some people will feel this more in the chest, others in the lats. For other people, it's entirely triceps, all arms. But sometimes just tweaking your form slightly will make pullovers feel magical for your body. So keep listening. In terms of your hand placement, you want to take a diamond grip around the dumbbell. So it looks just like this. Feels nice and stable, strong and comfortable. With dumbbell pullovers, you can tweak your technique to change which muscles are worked most. For the chest, you want to use an internally rotated shoulder with flared elbows. If you want to target your lats more, you're going to externally rotate the shoulders, pointing your elbows up towards the sky. Keep in mind with your pullovers, the more that you bend your elbows, the more you're going to be using your triceps as shoulder extensors to help you during the exercise. Breathing is very straightforward. As you pull overhead, you want to take a big breath in, getting that huge stretch. And as you pull over back towards your body, you're going to exhale, contracting your back, chest, and upper body muscles. Regardless if you're trying to hit your lats or your chest more, your long-term goal should be full elbow extension to build resilience in those tissues, as well as straight arm strength conditioning. In terms of range of motion at the upper body, you can use a constant tension technique where you're pulling the dumbbell only up to head height. It's got more resistance with the free weights in this manner. Or alternatively, you can use more of a rest pause method where you pull the dumbbell towards your stomach. There's not really much resistance there, but it allows you to get in some more reps towards the end of a set. With the dumbbell pullover, you've got two main techniques that you can use. You've got the perpendicular or cross body bench setup, or you can lay lengthwise across the bench. Let's talk about it. For the cross bench setup, you're going to position yourself so that your shoulders are on the bench and your neck is free to move. The key difference with this one is you're going to drop the hips as low as you can into an anterior pelvic tilt. And then otherwise, all the technique mechanics are the exact same. The key differences with this variation is you're getting a more aggressive stretch through your upper body. You're also getting more thoracic extension, which is great for opening up that posture. And you can clearly see the rib cage expansion. When laying lengthwise on the bench, there's one thing that you want to keep in mind. It's relating to your position of your core. I want you to hollow your body out like this, making a flat back with the bench. This is going to constrain all of the movement to the upper body as you go through the exercise. And just like in a bench press with the feet, you want to get that leg drive by extending forward with your quads. You can't go wrong with either way of doing pullovers. Save the heated debates about biomechanics, EMG studies for the fitness geeks out there that are just reading about it and not actually in the trenches training hard. Beware of ego lifting with dumbbell pullovers. When I first started this exercise, I used bent elbows to the maximum. This allows you to lift more weight, and it also allows you to use more range of motion. Because it's tricep heavy, they can help a lot in the exercise. Instead, what I invite you to do is work towards that straight arm pullover. It's going to be more difficult because you've got a longer lever of your arm, but the rewards that you reap from that straight arm pullover are just fantastic with the straight arm conditioning. You can make a lightweight feel heavier, get more out of less weight, and get the same benefits of the exercise. But over time, you'll be lifting nice and heavy like I am now. The pullover is an exercise that you may be unfamiliar with. So what are the benefits? Increased muscle mass in your upper body. The lats are going to grow bigger. They're going to flare out. Your chest, you're going to have another exercise in your toolbox to develop this muscle group, another compound movement that you can do in your workouts. The triceps, we can't forget they're involved in pullovers no matter what our technique. It's a nice added bonus for some arm growth. The serratus anterior is going to grow bigger, those fan-shaped muscles on your rib cage, just making you look more complete when flexing your abs from the front. The teres major around the rotator cuff is going to swell up with pullovers, giving you that nice demon back looking appearance. Training multiple muscles at once is actually a feature, not a bug, of compound exercises. You're getting multiple benefits and a huge bang for buck. Not every exercise needs to be optimized for muscle hypertrophy. You're not an elite bodybuilder, so don't fret, fella. Increased mobility is a huge benefit of doing pullovers, where we're getting that huge stretch overhead in our lats, in our triceps, and we're building strength at length by doing those eccentric emphasized lowering phase. And that's what really helps for building that permanent range of motion, being able to lift your arms overhead and having the control to be able to do it. It's not just some dinky static stretch. You're building strength because you're overcoming resistance, teaching your nervous system how to elongate your muscles and actually use them overhead. Straight arm exercises are rarely seen in conventional gym lifts. The straight arm pullover is going to develop that scapular control overhead because of that straight arm strength. That's such a unique part of this exercise that we can't highlight enough. The ribcage expansion of pullovers is the most unique selling point. It's going to make breathing so much easier because you're stretching through your thorax. There's more room for your lungs to expand, increasing that oxygen intake. And we know how powerful breathing, oxygen, red blood cells, all that stuff circulating through our body is going to help our performance as well as our recovery. With calisthenics, you can also build muscle and get stronger with just your body weight. To unlock the full potential of what your body is capable of, shop FitnessFAQs.com for our workout programs. For those of you that want to show off your hard work in the gym when you're posing, you'll be able to hit that vacuum pose with that huge ribcage expansion, and it's just going to look really aesthetic. The pullover is one of the best exercise I've ever come across for improving thoracic extension because you've got that pivot point of your upper back and you're extending under load. You're going to build strength, build mobility, range of motion in your thoracic spine. You're going to stand taller, have better posture, increase your overhead range of motion as a result. If you're someone who gets sternum or chest pain during dips, the dumbbell pullover is a great way to make your body more resilient because you're stretching and strengthening through there. You're building up your tolerance to handle load through this area, so you're less likely to get that annoying costochondritis or joint pain and inflammation through this area. Pullovers strengthen the diagonal pull range of motion. Conventionally, we hit pull-ups, we hit rows, we've got a vertical direction and a horizontal, but we're missing this arc here, this diagonal pull. The pullover, it strengthens this missing range of motion. So you're going to also get some added stimulus to your muscles that you wouldn't get from a purely vertical and horizontal, making you complete. Progression. You've got to choose exercises that you can keep on doing until the end of time. Most gyms, they go up to 50 kilo dumbbells. Until you can do dumbbell pullovers with straight arms, full range of motion, with a slow eccentric emphasis with the plus 50s, then you've still got room to go with this exercise. And I joke about that because I know how much growth potential there is in this exercise. The dumbbell pullover is a great exercise, but it's not immune to criticism. Here are the common arguments against it. Dumbbell pullovers are said to be a bad lat exercise because the lats have poor leverage overhead and the pecs have good leverage overhead. Dumbbell pullovers are most challenging at the end range where the lats are weakest, the claim being that the pecs and the triceps are used the most. Despite the limited lat activity at end range, this is just an EMG study. A big stretch can still mean a big stimulus. It's hard to believe that heavy dumbbell pullovers trained close to failure in that deep stretch won't make your lats bigger. There isn't constant tension with dumbbell pullovers, meaning as you bring the weight towards your chest, you're not actually working your upper body that much. The stretch at the end range is where the magic is. We're using dumbbell pullovers to overload that end range of motion with our arms overhead to increase our mobility and get all of those other benefits that we've discussed. If you want constant tension, just do cables or machines. This way, you're going to overload that shoulder extended to the arms by side position. All right, here's some practical tips about programming the dumbbell pullover. The best rep range for dumbbell pullovers is 8 to 15. It's that sweet spot where you're getting some strength, you're building muscle, and it optimizes the risk to reward ratio. You're not going so heavy with low rep ranges where your risk of injury is higher, and you're also not doing super high reps where it's tedious, it's building endurance, and your technique might get sloppy. Correct tempo for dumbbell pullovers is eccentric emphasized. It takes a long time to milk that bottom range of motion. So when you're doing 8 to 15, your sets are going to last a long time. Huge time under tension. Programming the pullover and where it fits into your workout schedule is something that you should consider. If you're following an upper body split, this one is the most straightforward. You put the pullover at the end of your workout because you're already working the chest with bench press and the lats with pull-ups. If you're following a push-pull split, just choose whichever muscle you feel working the most on pullovers as your guide. If you always feel your chest working, put it at the end of your push day. If you always feel your lats working, put it at the end of pull day. You always want to start light in your warm-up. This is not an exercise that you want to jump straight into your working weight for the day. You've got to get that range of motion lubed up, blood flow to your shoulders, getting that straight arm position nice and comfortable. With range of motion, don't be a hero. Don't rush this exercise by trying to go all the way back the first day you do the movement. It's going to take you time to build up to that full overhead range, weeks, months, or even years, to build up the strength, tissue capacity in your shoulders. For me, lat training now would just be incomplete without a pullover variation of some kind. Just pull-ups, just rows. There's something that's just incomplete there from a strength and aesthetic perspective. That's why the pullover will be in my program in some way, shape, or form moving forward. Here are the best variations of the pullover that you can do with free weights. The easy curl is a godsend for the pullover because it gives you more options. You can play with this off neutral grip. You can take your grip wider apart as well. And for some people, they find that this difference in the width of the grip does feel more comfortable on their shoulders. It allows them to do the pullovers pain-free and get stronger with it. Keep in mind, you can also play around with your bench angle. By using an incline, it changes the strength curve and resistance profile, which part of the pullover feels most challenging. It also gives you extra clearance. So if you're using a bent elbow technique, you got plenty of room to get that full range of motion. Don't forget, you can flip it the other way around. Decline pullovers are also a valuable option. The 2-arm dumbbell pullover is another option that I've seen online throughout the years, and it's a great one for unilateral loading. So if you're someone that has left to right asymmetry in terms of strength or size, can be a little bit shaky and unstable. You might end some reps with your dominant side finishing and the other arm trailing along for the ride afterwards. The people talking trash about pullovers probably only try them once or randomly do them every now and then. You can't expect to transform your body without applying that stimulus regularly. You can't get more skillful at the lift or build resilience without that constant exposure. Be consistent. Keep pullovers in your routine for at least 3 months and you'll be the beneficiary of all the benefits pullovers have to offer. Now fellas, YouTube knows you better than I do. So click here to watch this video that has been hand-picked by an AI algorithm just for your viewing pleasure.